What's happening, everybody? It is a Monday on the Tall Can Audio Podcast. Probably lots of other places, too. Welcome inside another edition of the show from the Lakeside studio. Finally have made our way out of the city. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. I know I did. I know the Blue Jays, not so much. We'll get into all of that here in just a moment with our guest, Joshua Howsam. Man, welcome back to the show. Thanks for doing this on a Sunday afternoon. How are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm always happy to come by and chat with you about the Jays, even when it's not as fun to talk about them. So I'm good.
Yeah, it's a bit of a scene right now for sure. Look, there's a bunch of different places we could start here, I suppose, but just in a general sense, man. You tweeted out about an hour ago at time of recording. I think kind of a good encapsulation of what a lot of people are feeling right now, and maybe I'm overstating that a little bit. Like maybe maybe there are certain fans out there who are just kind of, they watch for themselves or whatever. But in a general sense, like when you zoom out, this season has been such an opportunity lost, and we'll get into why, and we'll get into what's causing it and all of this. But man, like the vibe is always so immaculate around the Blue Jays when the whole country gets on board like they did through the second half of last season and through the playoffs. And then to just have kind of the start that they had, and I don't think we can still call it a start. The start continued, now to come out of the All Star break where you kind of had a little break, a little refresher, and you're kind of like, okay, it's only 3.5 games. Let's just get going, and they could still be fine. And they drop another series. They're not scoring. In a general sense, man, like how big of a missed opportunity is this? And is that even a fair way to describe it? It's not like the organization thought it would be a good idea to follow up the World Series with a mediocre season, but that is what's happened. Just in a general sense, man, where are we at right now with the opportunity lost here?
Yeah, I mean, I think calling it a missed opportunity is still accurate. I mean, the reasons why, like you said, you can't blame management completely, but this was the World Series run last year. Half the country watched it. Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of people who were like, oh, this thing's kind of interesting. I like this baseball thing. I never watched that much, but I'm kind of enjoying this. And the numbers at the start of the season were higher than they've ever been. So like this was the chance to really cement a new group of fans. This is what I tweeted. So I'm sort of plagiarizing myself here. But
well, if anyone's going to plagiarize, you might as well be you.
Yeah, so it also helps with the ego too, right?
Sure.
So, but I really believe this, that there was a chance to really increase the true fan base, not the casual fan base, but people who'd be like, I now love this. If they had come out and been exciting again and good again, they didn't have to be rushing off to the World Series and be be other odds-on favorite in the American League.
Yeah, wire to wire, first place, anything like that. It was...
Right. They just had to be a good, fun team that was winning more than it was losing. Or even just winning. I mean, even just if they were winning without the fun, they would be doing something. But the games, not only are they losing them, and I think they're 7 games under 500 again as of this recording.
Yep.
They're losing them in boring ways. When you don't hit, it's boring.
Well, even Saturday's win, right? 1-0. And like you said, it's a win. You'll take it. You're happy with it. But you're like, man, this is kind of a slog to watch, right?
Yeah. I was at the park and with my wife's family's in town, so I took them to the game.
Sure,
but,
nice.
It was a little more interesting in the game because you're there, right? So but you're watching that on television.
Right.
It's like, you got to really love the sport to be able to enjoy a 1-0 game on TV. It's like, for me, like I could be like, oh, I'm watching Shane Bieber actually pitch the way we want Bieber to pitch. And like, oh, this is actually, but like, if you're someone who's kind of newish to the sport, you'd be like, when something's going to happen.
Yeah, no, my 8-year-old nephew has gotten into baseball a little more. For Christmas, he wanted a glove, and for his birthday, he wanted like a bat and ball and stuff. And part of that is the excitement from October. And he was watching with everyone else. He's not like, he doesn't know every player's name. He doesn't know the intricacies of the game, but he got excited. And yeah, you sit down, I don't know, in the spring and say to him, you want to watch some of the Jays with Uncle Matt? And he goes, yeah, okay. And you sit down, and it is a summer weekend and his cousins and his friends are around, and do you want to sit down with Uncle Matt and watch 1-0 for 2.5 hours? No, I got better stuff to do, right? Like, and I know he's not necessarily the hardcore that you're trying, but this is when you can plant those seeds, right? Like he's excited in this moment. Hook them, see if you can grab them, and they just haven't, right? Like it's
right, and that's exactly what I mean. That is the one you want. You want that 8-year-old to be like, I want to be a baseball player or be I love the team. I'm going to be buying all their jerseys for Christmas.
Yeah,
that's what you want. So yeah, it's a shame. It really is, because like I love this team. I love the Blue Jays. I love baseball, and I really wanted the love of that sport to spread, and I think this is going to hurt that.
Yeah, it feels a little, to be honest with you, like two different things come to mind. I was thinking about this earlier today ahead of our conversation. I think of the Raptors and what happened to them in the spring of 2019, where at best, I'm a casual basketball fan. As a sports guy, I know the main players. I certainly understand the game. I'll watch a few games here and there. But by the time that playoff run was going on, I'm like the rest of the country. I am all in, right? Like I am fully invested in this. And then by the time, like, we don't really get a normal 2020 playoffs. We get the COVID break and then being in a bubble at Disneyland and whatever else is going on there. And I also kind of think of a league that loves to shoot itself in the foot at every opportunity. In 1994, there's a very well-regarded or well-known article from Sports Illustrated that said that the NHL has overpassed the NBA in terms of fan, and it's on the heels of the New York Rangers winning the cup, right? If you're ever going to get a boost to your league and they turn around and have one of Gary's lockouts and do what they always do and shoot themselves in the foot. This is different. I think, and I kind of want to ask you about job security for some of these people in a minute, but like if I look at what happened in the offseason and the job that Atkins did and Shapiro did coming off the World Series, like the guys that they brought in this offseason have been, by and large, pretty good. Like I find myself wanting to search and point and find somebody to blame, and it would be great if it could be the management types. And yet the people who are letting them down this year are largely people that were in the organization for the big run last year, and the people who are new and were brought in have pretty much lived up to their end of the bargain, man.
Yeah, I mean, aside from basically Cody Ponce, whose knee blew up within the second inning of his season.
Yeah,
I do think that the star players, at least, Cease and Okamoto. I mean, you look at those guys and you can't complain at all about what they've been doing. The injuries in the rotation, I think, have hurt a lot. I think that the pitching side of things, if Bieber had been healthy coming into the season, if they had Barrios, if they had Ponce,
yep,
they wouldn't have been counting on the aging cost of Max Scherzer. They wouldn't be rolling out bullpen days of Spencer Miles, who I love Spencer Miles. I think he's awesome, but it's just taxes everything.
This was not
when you
the
have
plan
to go
for that guy.
right, exactly. So I do think on the pitching side of things, they were just really unlucky. But as you said, on the offensive side, it's like Okamoto's been pretty good. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I look at the lineup and there is not a single qualified player with an OPS over 770. And the only players who do have an OPS over 770 are Jonathan Clase and Luis Arias, who have combined under 60 plate appearances.
Yeah, okay. Well, and how bad do you want to hang your hat on that continuing for Jonathan Clase or whatever, even, right?
Or Luis Arias. No, it's not going to happen. That's my point. Like, the only guys who can do it are in this small sample weirdness that happens.
Yeah.
You look at regulars, Andres Jimenez, Dalton Varsho, George Springer, all under 700. Yeah. Vlad, under 710. And it's like you get these seasons like Ernie Clement, who's hitting 295 with a 748 OPS. That wasn't like, that's better than was supposed to happen.
Sure.
But when you get that, that's supposed to be putting you over the top. But when your guys that are supposed to hit aren't. I mean, and I didn't even include Kirk, who's down to like under 600 in his limited time. These were the guys that were supposed to carry the offense, and they're just not hitting. And when you have so few guys doing anything, you just get a series like this one against the White Sox, where the last 2 games they scored 1 run.
Yeah, and I heard, I've been outside for a lot of the day. I caught some of the game. I caught some of it on the radio. And I was listening to Chris LaRue after the finish of the game. And he kind of said, I'm sure Blue Jays fans are tired of hearing this and running out of time for this to even still matter. But he goes, sometimes you have to you just have to tip your cap. Like Sean Burke was very good today. But as a fan base, you're like, I don't have time to. How many times this year if I had to tip my cap, right? Like at some point, it doesn't matter. Like you have to find, and that is a horribly irrational thing to say. Like the things that are happening don't matter. Just find a way to win for me, please. Like that's not how anything works. And yet, when you look at this roster, I think the thing I wanted to ask you about is this kind of. There's always going to be a negative side of the fan base, a more pessimistic side, or just an outright unpleasant side. And there's a lot of fuel right now kind of in that middle area that is in between the casual fan and the hardcore fan that is being able to go, last year was a fluke. And you can't say to that person who isn't that engaged, yeah, but check out the BABIP on Jeff Hoffman or right, like send them to explain some of this and why last year wasn't a fluke and why some of the things that have happened this year, certainly not everything, but some things this year have been more unfortunate than they should be. And it's just like, in a general sense, it gets really difficult to have a conversation about what's happening to this team right now. Is there any... Like, are we too far into this to still just say, outside of injuries, which happened to every team, but this team had its fair share, certainly 2 important players throughout the first half, and even Vlad, who's been in the lineup, I've seen a lot of speculate. We know about the back. I've seen people point at the ball he took off the forearm at the end of April. Like, there is some luck involved with injuries, but when you compare this year to last year, was there an inordinate amount of good luck last year? Has there been an inordinate amount of bad luck this year? Like, do we know which one of those teams or these teams is closer to real?
Well, I think that the answer is probably neither, right? I mean, I do think this team is, well, I guess I'd say closer to last year's team in terms of true talent. Mm-hmm. People talk about, I got into this actually with, it wasn't an argument, it was a discussion with someone on Twitter who was saying, like, last year everything went right and this year everything's going wrong. Last year everything did not go right.
Right.
I mean, you talked about the guys that they brought in this year who've been mostly good, right? Mm-hmm. Last year they brought in Anthony Santander, yes, Andres Jimenez, Jeff Hoffman, Nick Sandlin, and Yimi Garcia. None of those guys did anything. And Max Scherzer, who was pretty terrible.
Right.
So, like, they had a lot of things go wrong. Bowden Francis got hurt and was terrible. They just also had the difference last year is that when the things went wrong, they had guys step up, like Addison Barger. Mm-hmm. And they also had their stars play like stars. Yeah, right. But their stars played like stars.
Yes.
Right? Springer, Vlad, Kirk, they were great. Bo, who was still here, great. If your stars are playing like stars, you can overcome a lot. And the general theme of the Jays when they've underperformed has been when their great players weren't great. And, like 2024, which was the last time they had a bad season, mm-hmm. Bo had, a 5-something OPS and was injured for 2/3 of the season.
Yeah.
Springer was terrible. Kirk was terrible. When stuff like that happens, it's hard to win because offense is built around these guys. So anyway, back to the original question.
Right.
I do think that they're better than this because Vlad is better than this, right? I mean, this is the worst he's literally ever been.
He is the linchpin. Like, if he's not going, they're not going. Sometimes it's no more complicated than that. Like,
yeah, and I think with the Jays it really isn't because their whole lineup, once Bo was allowed to leave, I say allowed to, he's a free agent. He chose to. Yep. It was clear. It's like we're building this entire thing around our $500 million man. You don't give a guy $500 million if you're not doing that. And when you build something around a guy being a 300-ish hitter with walks and power, and he does none of that, you're just not going to be very good. So I think they're a lot better than this, but I don't know if that's going to be this year. This year might be this.
Yeah, sometimes it is. It's just a disaster season that you don't get to pull the nose up on time or in time to save it. We'll get to that in a second. You were in the ballpark, you mentioned there, on Saturday.
Yeah,
that was a terrific outing. And for me, maybe because I'm starting to feel that pessimism, a surprising outing from Shane Bieber. And he hadn't given us a whole lot of reason to be excited since he's been back in the rotation this year. We saw sort of coming off Tommy John last year when they picked him up at the deadline, all the things that a simpleton like myself hears and understands, right? That a lot of the time you might get your velo back really fast, but your control will struggle, and that's going to take a little bit more time. And then he misses the first half of the season, and I don't know what that means now in terms of that script that I can understand. What's coming? What is he going to look like coming back? Should it be more or less velo? Should it be more or less control? I don't really know what we're dealing with. And at the beginning of his return, it wasn't great. But everything in baseball is sample size relevant, but is one great outing, like, did that get you optimistic, or did that feel like, he had a good day and I still don't really know what to expect out of the rest of the season from him?
Both. Yeah. I'm really struggling to answer these questions. They're really good questions. So, the thing with Bieber, right? As you said, he did all the good in his first few times out, but the stuff seemed to mostly be there. Mm-hmm. So I was hoping that it was just rust, right? That he just he hadn't pitched really at all since the World Series, and even then he was struggling to bounce back. Like, maybe he just wasn't there yet.
Sure.
And then yesterday was exactly what Shane Bieber's supposed to be. A guy he doesn't throw that hard. He's never thrown that hard, even when he won the Cy Young. But he used his fastball around the edges, and then his breaking balls, he would dive them out of the strike zone. That was how he won, always. Mm-hmm. And that's what he was doing yesterday. So I'm encouraged. I said that word really funny. Encouraged. I'm just going to roll with it. I'm encouraged.
Yeah. It was very refined or something, like pronounce every syllable here.
I think that it was a good sign that he showed he still has that. Mm-hmm. But I need to see it at least 2 or 3 more times before I'm willing to say, oh, he's fine.
Is it going to matter? Because I guess we'll see it at least twice more. I'm trying to look ahead here at where the deadline is. And this kind of gets into a more existential question as far as the season goes in terms of buying and selling. Do you think there's a world where if they just keep middling along here and not really doing much, where he would have value if he can give you another 2 or 3 of those starts? Would you be looking to make it? I guess if we're going down this road already, and I'm the one steering the ship, so we are. It's kind of I can't envision a world for me where in the next 3 weeks they can show me enough that I would buy for this group. I haven't decided whether or not I would sell yet. If they can kind of get going, and I certainly understand the fan who is scoffing at hearing me say that. There's been no evidence thus far that they're about to get on a run, but there was no evidence the Red Sox were about to get on a run, and baseball's crazy like that sometimes because they've now won 13 in a row for the first time since the 1940s. So things happen. I don't know what would have to happen in the next 3 weeks for me to go, this group is on the verge of something special again, and I'm going to buy for them. But if they were to get going and start to show something, I might not sell. I might give them a chance down the stretch. Do you envision a world where Shane Bieber could have value at the deadline? At this point, would you just want to keep him around, sort of maintain this relationship, especially if he's looking good, and see if you could talk him into sticking around next year? What is your sort of outlook on that guy?
Yeah, well, it's actually only 2 weeks, so
oof.
Yeah, it's coming up pretty fast.
Yeah.
So that gives him maybe 3 starts, I think.
Yeah, I guess he'd be Thursday. I think he's out again. Yeah. Yeah, you should get 3 starts out of that.
Yeah, so it's interesting because this year, because he's been with the team all season, the Jays actually could give him a qualifying offer at the end of the year.
Okay. I was not aware of that, to be honest with you. I assumed he was UFA at the end of the year.
Yeah, well, so baseball is kind of funny that way. Like, the qualifying offer it's not restricted free agency.
But it penalizes anyone trying to take him from you.
So as long as you have never been given one before and have not been acquired mid-season, you can get one.
Right.
And they couldn't give him one last year because they traded for him in the middle of the year.
Right.
But he stuck around. So I think that will change the calculus a little bit with Bieber, because if Bieber does start to look better, I don't think the Jays will be so quick to toss him aside unless they get a real offer for him.
Sure.
I do think that he likes it in Toronto, and I do think that it might behoove him to accept a qualifying offer if he doesn't dominate from here to the end of the season.
Right.
But I also think that if he shows up and he shoves like he did against the White Sox, or even something close to it, he doesn't have to throw shutouts every time. But
he might have to if we're going to win. But
well, yeah. Well, this is the selling world, so they don't have to win. So it's okay. If he looks like Shane Bieber for the next 2 starts going into the deadline, I think there's a good chance he goes, even with all what I just said, because the market looks barren for decent pitchers. And there's going to be so many teams needing them.
Well, all this stuff that we have been able to hang our hat on as Jays fans, go, the AL isn't that good. Like, we're still right there. Like, you if you could just figure your stuff out, you could still be in this race. Is all the, like you just said, there's not a lot out there to buy. And the fact that so many teams are able to tell themselves exactly what the Jays are saying right now, hey, we could be in it. We could be a Shane Bieber away from grabbing that 3rd wild card. Like, I think the fact that this is so muddled up and so compressed in the middle might lead a lot of teams into making some pretty foolish buying decisions.
Yeah, I think it could be a real seller's market. And there is one weird element to this whole trade deadline for the Jays. Say they do go to seller mode. I tweeted about this, or actually, I was in a chain with someone. If the Jays, because of where they are in the CBT, the luxury tax, if they end up with a draft pick 7th or higher, as in like a higher number, a worse pick, it moves back 10 spots, which is crazy now. And so right now they're sitting. They have the 8th.
And just to complete that thought for people who don't understand how all this all works, because they're spending so much money, you are penalized in your draft order. And so that's why they would move back 10 picks, is because you've crossed this threshold of the competitive balance tax.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. They're beyond the 2nd level of it.
Right.
Or 3rd level of it. And to get back below that, I'm looking at the projections for where they are. They would have to shed almost $40 million in payroll.
I think this was the tweet of yours that I sent you to say, hey, can you come on and talk about this? Like, the world to sell, like you just said, you have to shed almost $40 million in salary to get down and try and reset that value, right? Like,
yeah, and this isn't like the NHL or the NBA where the whole contract moves at once.
Right.
The money that they've made to this point is gone.
Yep.
So, like, you can't say, oh, Kevin Gausman's making $23 million. There's 23 right there. It's actually more like 8.
Yeah.
Well, a little more than 8. But, yeah, and so Bieber, same thing. So it's going to be really hard for them to do that. But and also try to get decent value back. So they're almost like just be putting their hands in the lottery gods, because I was starting to say that right now they have the 8th worst record, and the Giants, who are worse than them, can't pick in the top 10 because of the rules about how frequently you can pick in it. So right now they'd be sitting in the exact pick that moves them back 10 spots.
You need something to happen here in these next 3 weeks, right? Like, and I don't know that it will. Like, so far, this team has shown us exactly who they are to this point this year. I agree with you. There is more talent than this on this team, but there is nothing that suggests this team's about to lose 8 of 10 or win, 7 out of 10 or go 8-2 down the next, to kind of give you an indication, hey, they're finding it. It's okay. Don't sell here at the deadline. This might go somewhere. Or, no, this is a total dumpster fire. It's over for this year. Sell hard. Like, it kind of feels inevitable that it's going to look like this the rest of, at least up until the end of July. And I guess the trade deadline is actually a little later this year.
Yeah, August 3rd, I think.
Yeah. So it just kind of feels like you're not likely to get any strong signal in any direction. You might just be this year, this disaster season, slightly under 500 or a little more than slightly maybe. And I don't know how you handle that heading into it was that tweet though that you had said about in terms of resetting any kind of salary structure issues. Like I can't think of anything on the roster right now that you would be willing to sell at the deadline that pulls your salary down $40 million. Like, it's just not going to happen.
You basically have to be saying we don't want to get a single decent prospect back for guys like Kevin Gausman, Shane Bieber, Jeff Huffman, all our decent assets. But they're not going to do that.
No.
So I think they're just going to have to, that's just not a thing.
Right.
as you're saying. Basically, to me, there's only two things that could make the decision for them that are semi-realistic. One, Vlad goes on a heater.
Right.
Well, okay, other than further injury, of course.
Sure.
Or two, the other teams around them just start winning like the Red Sox.
Yes.
No, okay, no one's going to win like the Red Sox, but if the Jays keep playing this, like we're losing every, 4 out of every 9 games, and the other teams start winning 6 of those 9, they'll just be so far back they won't have a choice.
I've been waiting all season for somebody to just, and it's not like there aren't good teams in the AL. It's just, It's just like the middle of the pack. Everyone who's supposed to battle for these, like I've been waiting for 1 or 2 of them to just grab hold of it and run away. Like there is no world, I guess going into Sunday's game, I believe the Jays were 3.5 back. I haven't seen what the rest of the league has done, whether or not they'll finish Sunday 3.5 back or be 4.5 back. You just kind of have been waiting for the wild card to at least get to like 7 away from you while you're playing at this pace. And it just hasn't happened. And it's kind of been, I don't want to say false hope. It's there. Like if this roster could start to perform at its true talent value, but yeah, and like you said, in terms of getting some clarity on the deadline, yeah, it's going to have to be that somebody else runs away with you, or something dramatic is going to have to happen. And I look at the Vlad thing. I don't know what's happening with his back. I hate to guess at the injury stuff, but the numbers are pretty stark when you point to the April that he had, the World Baseball Classic that he had, then that ball to the forearm, and then the numbers ever since then. And maybe that's too simple, but I think that was like April 29th, April 30th. And ever since then, he just has not been close to the same guy. And I just wonder if this is going to be one of those years, which is a tough way to start your $500 million contract. But it might just be what it is.
First, I know we can move on from that, but because I totally agree. But for the record, if we hear after the season that he's been hurting all his forearms, been hurting him all year, and then he's going to get better in the offseason, someone needs to get fired for not sending that guy to the IL.
Yeah, 100%. Like, give him a full month if that's what it takes, or whatever, right? But don't just keep sending him out there to not do his job. Like there's something up with that guy that doesn't look anything like previous slumps that he's had or whatever else. I want to ask you about Trey Savage, and it's been a little bit of, I think, predictably an up and down thing. Like it was so much fun to watch that guy like rocket through every level of baseball last year and end up performing the way that he did in September and throughout the playoffs. But I think if you're being realistic, going into the season, you would predict some struggles and at least some up and down performance. He was just never going to dominate the league permanently the way he did when he first came up. And some of that is the league learning him. Some of that is him learning the league. Some of it is an innings thing, kind of getting used to the rhythm of a major league season. But he also had on Sunday this weekend an interesting outing. And the box score, I don't think favors him all that well. It looks a little messier than it was. Like he was throwing, I can't find my note here. I think to the like 92% of the batters he faced there, 22 of 26 or whatever, got first pitch strikes. Like he kind of looked like that guy again after. Again, he's never been terrible this season, but he hasn't been what we got so excited about last year. What have you kind of made of his season, his first true, I guess, rookie season?
Yeah, so he started out amazing.
Yeah.
And I do actually, I kind of believe what they said about what he was doing, where he had this tendency to just get to lean back too much in his delivery. Mm-hmm. And it made him lose his command. Because if you look at the starts where he's been not good, he's got 2 starts with 7 walks, one of them which is 1 2/3 innings, one with 5 and one with 6. And oddly, in one of those ones, he only gave up 1 run over a 5. But this is what he was, even a little bit in the minors too. It was kind of hidden by how dominant he was. He does occasionally just lose the zone because his mechanics are different than anyone else's. So they've been working on getting him back aligned and more consistently aligned, because the stuff when you see it today, and you saw it in that outing against Seattle and the outing before that against the Mets.
Yep.
And then that great outing against Boston where he was dominant and somehow they gave up 2 back-to-back home runs to IKF and Chad Durbin in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
But you can see season. Right. At least they won that game. But yeah,
I know. But yeah,
it summed it up nicely. But, but you can see the dominant stuff is still, like, when he's throwing strikes, he's as tough as ever. So it's just really about consistency, which is the toughest part of becoming a regular in the majors.
Yeah.
And when you rock it up through the system, I actually think that his postseason kind of the extreme dominance he showed a few times kind of hid that he did this a bit in the postseason too. His first start against the Dodgers wasn't that good. The Jays just scored 11 runs, so it didn't matter.
That's right.
And his second start against or maybe it's his first start against the Mariners, one of the two, wasn't that great either. Mm-hmm. But he had these extremely good starts that kind of hid that.
Oh, and the glow was on too. Everyone was so excited about him, about the team. Like, one bad start, you kind of look the other way and let's just keep rolling, right? Like it doesn't feel that way in a 162 game season where things aren't going well. Now we're starting to poke holes and notice when things are not ideal.
Yeah, it's the second game, the first game against Seattle, which was game 2 of the series. He gave up 5 runs in 4 innings with 3 walks.
Right.
And so it's just sort of like, okay. And then the first start against the Dodgers, again, they won. They scored 11 and 1, but he gave up 2 runs over 4 with 3 walks. Mm-hmm. So he does this. And I think that the stuff is so good that people don't get it, but it's just consistency, and he'll find it. This actually, the fact that he's able to come out after this All-Star break and do this makes me very confident that he knows what he needs to work on and how to work on it. And the more he gets to do that, the better he'll be.
We've mentioned Kevin Gausman a couple times in this podcast. I think early on in the season, I think for the most part, people were happy and everybody loves Gauss anyway and whatever, but he's had some rough outings here over the last little bit. I think I tweeted out here a couple of weeks ago that I love Kevin Gausman. I'm glad he signed here. I think the contract was a win. Everything good that you would want to say about that guy. And yet I would be seriously hesitant to go any further, to talk extension with him. I guess it depends on what the rest of your rotation is going to look like. Can you tolerate a Kevin Gausman that might now be your number 4 instead of your number 2? Am I being unreasonable based on a couple of bad outings here and it's too small a sample size to be concerned? Or is it more of a case of, he might be hitting that age and it's a 5-year contract that's coming to an end and it might just be time to say, we love you. Thank you for everything you did. And I hope you can catch on somewhere else for your twilight years.
That's a tough question to answer. I honestly think that's the one we're going to need the full season, because you look at what he did through the end of May. He had a 3.13 ERA, and he had 12 walks in 69 innings.
Phew.
And since then, his first start in June since the start of June, we are looking at 20 walks in 43 innings and a 6.23 ERA.
Right.
Now, there's that one start against the Cubs that's kind of throwing this really out of whack.
Sure, yeah.
But he did go out the next time and give up 6 runs against the Rangers. So he's had bad stretches before.
Mm-hmm. He had one last year.
Right, yeah. The first bit of the season, he wasn't very good.
No. I remember one where they had to pull him in the first or second inning because he threw like 45 pitches at Yankee Stadium, I believe, this is 2025 season. But yeah, it was rocky at times last year too.
Yeah, it's actually funny. Quick aside, because I do want to answer your question. Jose Barrios gets all this hate for how bad he was at the end of last season. And then obviously taking his ball and going home didn't help.
No.
But he carried them in the first half of the season. Without Jose Barrios in the first half, the Jays are not in the playoffs.
I find this all the time about baseball, man. It's so long. It's 6 months and it's every day, and it's really hard to remember, 110 games ago, right? Like it's hard to keep everything in perspective.
Yeah. But it's funny. So on this date last year, what is the date? Yeah. He had a 4.13 or 19 ERA.
Okay.
Currently, it's 4.33.
So, all right.
And then he finished the season at 3.59.
Yeah.
So if he can go on that kind of run again, then you're like, okay, well, maybe we'll try this for another year or two. You just have these ups and downs.
What
in
is
the season.
that line
That's
for you? 2 years? Like, what if he wants 3?
I think so.
Like, are you willing to go
no,
there?
I think 2.
Yeah.
I think I'd max at 2. It's like if he wants to go longer, it's like, thanks for your service.
Right.
Because what's in the rotation next year?
No,
right
I know.
You've got Cody Ponce theoretically.
Theoretically,
right?
yes.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a knee injury. So
I understand. Crazy shit happens. Yeah.
I did say theoretically for a reason.
Yeah, for sure.
But so you got
Anthony Santander theoretically will play next year.
Right. Cease, Savage, Ponce, Barrios technically.
Yeah.
No, he'll be out for this. No, he'll miss the whole season probably.
I guess.
Barrios,
I don't even know where he's
Savage,
at
Ponce.
this point. Well, are you bringing Bieber back?
Yeah, I'm just saying like under contract.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Right? These are the guys that are definitely there.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm missing anyone.
No, Jake Bloss, I guess you could. I don't know what's up with that guy now.
Who
I think he just
has
got
a shoulder injury right
just
now.
got re-injured. I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
so like that's where it's like maybe you do look at Gausman coming back for.
And he's a popular
maybe
guy.
Miles
He's
is in the
happy.
rotation next year full time. Right, but it's not like there's no spots. So I think that if he, and the same thing goes for Bieber, right? It's the same argument for both of them that if they're on the team past August 3rd,
Right.
I think that the way they finish will tell you whether you want to bring them back or not.
Yeah, I suppose. I think if I got to pick between the two, and I suppose I don't, but I'm more comfortable with Gausman. We have seen these stretches before, and like I said, if I'm too uncomfortable with what I've seen in this year from Gausman, I'm absolutely too uncomfortable with what I've seen from Bieber. And given the choice, I guess, like you said, we have time to see what the rest of the season looks like. But Gausman, at his age, and but I think you're right to point out that sometimes he just has these stretches where maybe the splitter isn't working quite like he wants it to. I want to come back to Vlad for a second before we zoom out one last time and talk about what needs to happen here down the stretch. Is it for you, like, have you seen enough to suggest, because people who have a better eye for this stuff than I do, say like it's not an injury. His approach is bad. His swings are bad. His eye is bad in a way that it never has been before for this guy. Do you buy into the idea that, your back could do that to you or the forearm could do that to you? When you look at him, do you believe this is an injury thing, or is this just he's kind of a mess right now in his own head and his approach to his at-bats?
Well, to answer the first part of the question,
This is why my questions are so hard to ask, is I sort of meander all over the place and then just toss you the hot potato.
Yeah. No, but they're good questions. I really like them because you actually have to think about the answers. So the thing with, like, he could be hurt, and an injury could absolutely alter your approach. If you are feeling you have to cheat a little bit because maybe you're altering your swing to be healthy, or your bat's a little slower, or whatever the reason, an injury can absolutely cause that. Mm-hmm. But absent the knowledge that he actually is hurt, it's hard to say it, right? I know, like you said, the numbers do track very well with when he got hit in the arm. But I don't know. The approach, you know what? Even the approach in April wasn't great. It wasn't as bad as it is now.
Sure.
But he has been just generally swinging more at pitches that are not in the strike zone. And because he's such a good hitter, he still hits them, but he doesn't hit them hard.
Right.
And so that's the thing. Like, I way back, I remember thinking, like, if only Danny Jansen could just swing and miss more. Which is such a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
But because, and then he started doing it. He's like, I'm just going to try to pull everything over the fence. If I miss that pitch low and away, who cares? Because he would just pop up these low outside pitches. And I'm just like, oh man, it's strike one, just miss.
Yeah.
And that's what Vlad's been doing. And it's really weird, like seeing him on like a 1-1 count do this flailing swing at a slider or a sweeper where he's way out reaching and he pops it up, or sometimes he gets a hit on it even, but it's like, just don't do that. Just, if you swing and miss, it's okay until there's 2 strikes.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know what it is. And I don't believe it's something that's like a problem. You know, I don't like, oh, Vlad is like, oh, he's lazy, or, you know, the nonsense you see out there. No. I think that he's going to be fine. I just don't know when.
Yeah. And this might just be, you know, the cursed season, and we don't see good Vlad again until April, or I guess now March 25th. I think I saw the schedule starts next year.
Yeah, so early.
If it starts at all, we'll see what that looks like. In a general sense here, man, when we are you comfortable in any resting heart rate with this team? Like, when you sit down to watch a ball game now, are you looking at a team? Are you watching this just for, you know, I love baseball and I want to see how this plays out for them? Are you still watching optimistically? Do you believe you're watching a team that could still flip the switch and, you know, at this point, grab a third wild card? And then once you get in, who knows? I'm just sort of curious, as a knowledgeable baseball guy coming down the stretch here, have you already sort of shut off the idea that this is life and death, we're still a playoff team, let's get going? Or is this now for you a watch because I'm interested in baseball and I'm interested in this team? Like, what are you going to be looking at here through the last 2.5 months?
Well, I'm certainly trending in the direction of the baseball fan watch.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I just like,
I
the
needed
league
that.
is so
I needed
bad.
to hear that. I needed some reassurance here that there's still a life.
The league is so bad. The Red Sox won 13 games in a row, and then to get 4.5 games ahead of the Jays. It took 13 wins in a row to do that. And eventually they're going to start losing again. You know?
Yeah. Yes.
And,
God willing.
Right. Well, I mean, look, if they don't, then
my next guest is a big Red Sox fan coming up middle of this week. That this could be painful. I need a loss before that happens.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, if they don't, like, say they just go on, then, like, look, we've entered the twilight zone, and something happened in the 8th inning of the World Series Game 7 last year, and we're not on the earth for anymore. But like, you look at the teams ahead of the Jays, right? The Astros aren't very good. The Tigers might be okay. Mm-hmm. The Twins are not very good. The Orioles are kind of what the Jays are, and the Mariners are kind of what the Jays are, and the Red Sox are kind of what the Jays are. You know, like, it's like in the next week, by the end of this week. So, like, starting Monday.
We got 4 against the Rays, who just got swept, so they'll be in a great mood.
4 at home against the Rays, thankfully.
Yeah. Yes.
And then 3 at Boston.
Yep.
Like, look, the Jays don't typically do well against Tampa, so I'm not going to predict this, but they could go 5-2, and all of a sudden be
you sweet talker.
Yeah, but they could go 5-2 and then be like 2 back.
Yep.
And it's like, then you're hopeful again. So I really actually, it's funny. I think this week, like with 4 against Tampa and 3 at Boston, will really tell us what we need to know. Like we'll know, I think by the end, like a week from today, like a week from right now, I think we'll know. We'll know what the Jays are.
I feel like I've been telling myself that for like, just give me a good 2 weeks here, or just give me a 2, and they won't do it. Or they haven't yet done it. And we'll see. Like
they have not yet.
No. That's it. If you could go 5-2 in this stretch this week, would at least keep that that fan vibe, because I'm with you. Like I'm sure I've watched the game in a different way than you. You're certainly a more knowledgeable in terms of what you're looking at baseball. But if my team is playing, no matter how bad it's getting, for the most part, I will still watch. But it is a different experience. Am I just watching because I like the team and I like the guys and no matter how bad they are and I like baseball? Or am I watching to go, I think my team could still do this? And you're right. A 5-2 week would certainly do that. But this is not an easy week to do it. Tampa's always, like you said, it's worse in Tampa, but they have never been an easy battle for the Jays. And then you got the suddenly irritatingly hot Red Sox after that. It could be, it'll be quite a week.
Yep.
I guess my last question would be, and this happens, I think, in most sports. When things are going poorly, the easiest guy to point at is like, I like all the players. These are my guys, and maybe I got that guy's jersey and this and that. Fire the coach. I hate that guy. Like he messes up in a way that I would never mess up if it was my job. We get to see that what John Schneider does didn't work, and just make the automatic connection that means what I would have done would have worked. And life doesn't work that way. But we sort of talked about Atkins and Shapiro and having a perfectly acceptable and maybe even good offseason and it not playing out on the field. Do you believe that anyone's job is on the line this season? Because there is also the business aspect of Rogers and the Blue Jays, and this opportunity that you and I talked about at the beginning of the show to go, this is a chance to really grab hold of more viewers and make more money, sell more jerseys, get more ad revenue. Is anybody on the hook for this? In your opinion, like, has John Schneider done a good or bad job? Pete Walker, I don't know, up and down the different coaches. Do you, or is this solely an injury thing, an athlete thing, a bad performance thing, and it would be unfair to put it on anyone on the staff?
Yeah, I honestly think that nobody's going to go. I just think it's so hard to say, hey, these guys took us to the World Series last year. Mm-hmm. These guys, like for Schneider, he got the most out of this weird group of players. Yes. The way he was pinch hitting and using the whole bench and really like getting the most out of Schneider and Lucas and all these guys. And then all of a sudden he's gone. I don't believe that that's the case. I don't think Schneider's an excellent tactical manager, but I also don't think he's bad.
Right.
And I do think that he's the right personality for the players that he has. I just think that sometimes baseball sucks, and I think Atkins and I think it does. Sometimes
today was one of those days, man. Yeah,
yeah, and I think that Atkins and Shapiro earned themselves at least a couple more years. They also just signed brand new contracts, both of them. Yeah. So I think that you might see a coach change here or there, but that doesn't really do anything. It's kind of all just like window dressing,
right?
So yeah, I think they're safe.
This is it. Like, Popkins was a genius and now he's an idiot. I don't know. Pete Walker was a genius and he's an idiot and then he's a genius. Like, he's been here a long time. He's rode the wave a few different times. I don't think it's that simple. I think athletes are finicky. The sport is finicky and sometimes annoyingly so. It kind of is what it is. And I feel like I've used that phrase a few times, man, as we wrap up here. And honestly, that is how I feel about this season. Like, I've looked at enough games and just gone, I wish that would have gone differently, right? And you can sometimes pinpoint a moment. You can sometimes pinpoint a decision. But sometimes you just go, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why Vlad's doing what he's doing, but he's doing it and it's going poorly. So I don't know why it's not working for Gausman this time, but it's not. And it would be one thing if I could just look at one guy and like it would be so nice to just go, John Schneider's an idiot. Fire that guy and we'll be fine. It's almost never that simple.
Alas.
Yeah, this is it, man. I always appreciate your time, especially on a Sunday afternoon in the summer. I'm sure you got other things to do, and you mentioned you got family in town, so I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, my pleasure.
We will wrap it up here. Stick around later this week. I believe it'll be Wednesday morning. You will hear from Steve Bunda. We'll talk some CFL with that guy who has been covering the much more, frankly, unpleasant Ottawa Red Blacks, who at the time of recording remain winless. Please do something on Sunday evening. Or Bunda's going to have some things to say, and he's a Red Sox guy. I'm going to have to give him the mic on baseball. That's going to be tough too, but stick around for it. We're on social media at Tall Can Audio. We will link to Joshua's social media as well in the show notes. So thank you so much for listening to this one. Make sure you're subscribed to the pod wherever you're hearing us right now. We'll see you next time.
TCA Summer Session.